It sounds funny. It really does. But there are a contingent of men that just have awful photography. I've sat beside a gal who was on a dating app and I said, here, let me have a look at what your experience looks like. The thing that guys don't understand is that women have unlimited options when it comes to using online dating. Even an average woman, 5 or 6 out of 10, posts okay photography, just a couple of headshots, just bad photography. And within a 48-hour period, you get like 100 matches very easily. An average dude is not even going to experience 5 or 6 or 10 matches in the same period. Single parent households are making a lot of beta males today, plugged in beta males. They're actually decent looking guys, but they don't have the, like the fizz. You know what I'm saying? Like they're missing something and they don't know what that is. All right, we're back. So, yeah, I'm just reading the chat. I mean, some of you guys are funny posting some stuff here. Don't use pictures in front of a mirror with toothpaste and boogers on it. It sounds funny. It really does. But there are a contingent of men that just have awful photography. I've sat beside a gal who was on a dating app and I said, here, let me have a look at what your experience looks like, right? And the thing that guys don't understand is that women have perceived unlimited options when it comes to using online dating. Okay. Even an average woman, 5 or 6 out of 10, can download an app, post okay photography, sometimes not even showing their body, just a couple of headshots, just bad photography. And within a 48-hour period, get like 100 matches very easily. And an average dude, 7 out of 10, okay, which really is an average, it's above average. But what would be perceived as an average dude, that's why I said if you're a 7 out of 10 or lower, you're probably wasting your time. But perceived by women would be average, is not even going to experience 5 or 6 or 10 matches in the same period. So objectively higher value, making more money, maybe even in better shape, because let's be honest, I mean, a lot of women that use dating apps are just completely out of shape and they don't even know how to use photography, but because guys pine for women so strongly, they'll overlook that. I mean, I've said this before on social media. I did this a couple of weeks ago and people lost their mind. I said something like, if she's got 5 or 6 photographs on a dating app and they're all headshots, there's like a 99.9% chance that she's overweight and you're not going to be pleased, right? So make sure you don't get fat fish, sort of thing. But you are going to have a very, very difficult experience with bad photography. The basics, again, are in the book. If you haven't read the Unplugged Alpha, just get it on Amazon. It's Audible, 5-hour audiobook. Get it in print. You can get it in Kindle. You can get it in hardback. It's a great gift. It's a good starting point. If there's a guy in your life that has experienced some chaos and is struggling with it, give him a copy of the book or just give him your book, right? Let them have a look at it. The other thing that you can do is you can take these episodes and you can share them with people. Like, don't be afraid to take an episode and say, yo, check it out. WhatsApp it to them, text it to them. You need to have a look at this. It'll help you understand whatever it is that they're stuck on. If you want to go deeper down the rabbit hole and get into the school community, join the School of Unplugging. I've got even more information there, which isn't watered down. Like, I can't tell, speaking of shadow bans, I can't tell you how shadow banned I am right now on all these platforms, including YouTube, right? I've got insiders that are verified that they've got the shadow ban slide on me, right? So if you want to get this word out, if you want people to see this sort of stuff, if you want to indulge in it, I can't even talk about all the explicit details that will help you level up through all this sort of stuff. This is why I put it in the School of Unplugging, right? That's why it's there. Anyway, let me turn on these speakers. Looks like we got a caller over here. Let's see what we got. Mathis would be the first one. It says devices not connected. There we go. Add to stage. All right, Mathis, what do you got for me, buddy?
What is up? Can you hear me all right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a little bit off topic. It's more about the topic of the last show.
Okay, what's up?
But if I remember it correctly, I didn't catch it from the beginning, but you were talking about all these problems in the West, about the government, about the family law, and all that stuff.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so, and how should I put this? I don't want to cause any nightmares, or I hate to break it to you guys, but that shit is not just present in the West. It's in Eastern Europe as well, and it is almost as bad as there.
Where do you live?
Well, I was born in Transylvania, but right now I live in Hungary.
Okay, yeah. So how bad is it in the West? Or sorry, East, sorry.
In East? Well, I can tell you some stories if you have the time for it.
Go ahead, man, fill me in.
Yeah, so the other day my friend, this happened back home in Transylvania. So he was going somewhere and he came across an old lady. She had some baggage with her and she tried to open a door, but she couldn't open it. And my friend was just going there to help her, and out of the sudden some chicks, well, they were more like teenagers actually. All of a sudden, when my friend tried to help this old lady, they just took out their phones and started yelling and filming and taking pictures and all this shit about toxic masculinity, oppression, and all of that.
I mean, young people throughout the world are hearing these messages about toxic masculinity, about the feminist narrative, about how all men are bad men and there's no good men out there. So by default, the female first primary social order exists around the world. It's worse in other places, though. I mean, at least in places like Eastern Europe, most women are generally attractive and not overweight. There's lots of beautiful women in North America. They're just under 100 pounds of fat and tattoos, right? You have certain advantages that don't exist in the West, but you do run up against the same problems that are having here. I mean, you can go back to the Tates in Romania and see what they're dealing with in that country, and they keep accusing them of things that they haven't been able to put in a trial or convict them with a judgment on. But they keep making stuff up, it seems. So is it bad around the world? Yeah. Is it worse in the West? Yeah. I mean, there's advantages, but there's no real best place in the world. That's why I always tell guys, like, the grass is always going to be greener where you fertilize and water it. You try to make the best of where you're at. But there's lots of stuff like that I've heard before, Mathis. It's not that uncommon.
Yeah, so I completely agree with that. So just hopping the fence won't solve any solutions. So
Yeah.
just by the fact that I hear a lot of guys from the West thinking and saying that, well, they will just plant another flag in somewhere in Eastern Europe, maybe even farther, because they think that, well, it will be easier for them. But I hate to break it.
Passport bro does not do better anywhere. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
Thanks for popping in, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, you like your average passport bro, and you see these in these TV shows too. Like they've documented it. It's a guy that works at the post office, lives in his mom's house, plays a very advanced video game console, has a job, makes enough money to pay for all that crap, and through his bad experience in the West, maybe not getting good results with dating apps, because of the various reasons that we talked about, goes, well, I'm going to sign up for a mail order bride, or I'm going to go to whatever country, Asia, Latin America, Eastern Europe. I'm going to find one of these more feminine women that aren't indoctrinated the way that they are, like the way that the Western ones are. And I'm going to bring them back. And then they just make a mockery out of them, right? Because women are women. They're the same all around the world. They're all hypergamous. They want the best that they can do. They have this illusion that there's millions of top shelf men just hiding from them, that if they just wait long enough that they'll show up in their life and want to marry them, which doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Like we said before, there's this delusion that exists where there's a ton of very good looking, tall, rich, influential, competent, fun guys out there that are just hiding from them, but they're not. The vast majority of guys are actually good looking guys, but they're overweight. They're actually decent looking guys, but they don't have the, like the fizz. You know what I'm saying? Like they're missing something and they don't know what that is. And it's a product of a lot of things. Single parent households are making a lot of beta males today, plugged in beta males. Can't tell you how many guys that I've had private consults with that make good money. They work for a strong organization. They're self-employed. Maybe like I talked to this one guy last week that worked for a fan company. Engineer, makes $900,000 a year, and single mother household, doesn't know what women respond to, doesn't know how to get what he wants out of his life, but he's managed to do something with it. But it's just like there's all these elements that I keep telling you guys to sort of like lean into. There's so many more things going on out there. I got Kiz over here. I'll bring him in. I haven't talked to him in a bit. And if anybody else wants to chime in or ask a question, the link is there in the live chat. Just hit it and pop in, and we'll get to you. Let me grab the invite link again. Copy, hop in, and ask a Q. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the Courses tab. Newer to the channel? Hit subscribe.